case, but mostly that was for, because everybody who has brain surgery does it. But
and they had you on anti-seizure medication and a medication that causes seizures.
Right.
But they balanced each other out, so it was okay.
Right, they said that to me. They did, didn't they? Good memory. Why don't you tell that story? But yeah, they did. That was
when he met with Marquez, and I asked that because you had been having all the symptoms on both of the medications. On the inside of those things, they have the list of possible symptoms that you can have, and you were having all the ones for Dilantin and for Keppra, or Dilantin and something else. And yeah, so I asked Marquez if it could be because you're on anti-seizure medication, and medication that the #1 symptom is seizures. And he told me that, oh no, the anti-seizure medication balances out the seizure-causing medication, so it's all good. They balance each other out.
Right. I don't see him anymore. I see the brothers. Yes. So that's the next piece. That was the how to live with a brain tumor, which really doesn't tell you anything. This is going into surgery, what you need to know. I've never had major surgery. I've given birth, but actually I think they just fell out as I was walking down the street. It was so easy. This was nothing.
You have bigger things.
Joan, I can't help but think of how similar your story is to birth. Because now here you have this cancer baby, and here you read all about what to expect with your body, but then what do you expect after the baby's born? We don't have...
We'll just let you go.
Good luck.
Right.
Yeah, have fun with that one.
Right. Yeah. There's more instructions on like, I don't know, dishwashers, television, how to hook things up than there is for raising things.
Yeah.
Then, then this is my radiation information. Some of it anyway. Information about radiation therapy. A guide to self-help during cancer treatment. And then improve, because then eating and nausea, all that crap happened. This is what they had for information for, well, this is all the excess things, you know, like hanging on to hope for a serious illness. Oh, and this is what makes it a little bit different when a woman gets cancer than when a man gets cancer, is women in our culture are the primary caretakers. And so when we get sick, although there's friends and there's family, the numbers are dropped lower, not to mention that women in our culture still are, 65 cents to the dollar, so we're still on the lower rung of the financial ladder as well. And so when the bottom drops out, it really does drop out. But I brought, for my caretaking self, caring for the patient with cancer at home. I read it.
Wow.
Yes. They had a few things. If you're into anything alternative, they don't have a lot of options. They would like to just fill your little basket with drugs that counteract each other, because if one doesn't work, the other one will take care of that problem. Although I did do some alternative things that have been helpful.
And one thing, they don't have any flyers like that in the hospitals that say anything about for the people around the person with cancer.
Right.
They don't have anything saying how to deal with your mother who just got cancer. Right. How to deal with your only parent that's getting cancer.
Right. And so your support systems then that you're looking for tend to be the American Cancer Society and the National Cancer Institute, which interestingly enough, and this is where I'm going to go and get all political feminazi on you, okay? Because cancer is a political feminist issue. It's an epidemic. And as long as we continue to look at it as a personal problem, well, first of all, we can all pretend it's not going to happen to us. And second of all, we don't have to make changes in society as a whole. I'm going to I took notes, so I'm just going to go with this for a minute here. I wrote, be leery of neurosurgeons with caveman tools. Just so you know.
Did you write that today, or when you were...
Over time, I think I wrote some of these things. And I also thought that we should get MRI punch cards Like after your 10th MRI, you should get one free, right? I think that's only fair. And they should do something about how many different veins. Like there should just be some that are off limits. I'm almost 21 years clean. I can show them where there's some good veins that I'm pretty sure. They don't ask me though. But I've been clean a long time now, so okay. And just the words that, you know, an immediate education on something you have no idea about. And I just really think that knowledge is power. And the more I knew, the more comfortable I got with how things were going to be. And bone flap, the doctor said something. I asked about if I could go on a motorcycle. No, your bone flap isn't healed yet. What? What about my bone? They cut open your head and literally with saws. I did get to see the saw, and then they saw your bone and they split this open and then they cut out. You know, actually I pictured a cheese slicer because it was so dense and wrapped around important things that they had to slice. And so I had this visual of the cheese slicer, and then somewhere in Dr. Hott is what my daughters call him, Dr. Hott, the neurosurgeon's office, it said meningioma-sized patties. Would you like fries with that? And then, like, you know, from Joan Kelly, oh, Mrs. Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And this is where I wanted to talk just a little bit about cancer is the leading cause of death in women 35 to 54. It's become an acceptable epidemic. It's true that men get cancer. It's also true that treatment for cancer is tested primarily on men, presumably works better, at least more predictably on them. The American Cancer Society has acknowledged that the gender-linked cancers are far more common among women, and that is with the meningioma. 65% more women get meningiomas. Why isn't this a feminist issue? Why did I not have a clue what a meningioma was going into this? And then I talked about our support systems. And most of the money that goes into it, if you're well, first of all, if you're a feminist and you're trying to do anything different separate from what the norm is, the mainstream groups that I've steered towards may cause us almost as much pain as they're supposed to be alleviating. Sandra Steingraffer says, lifestyles don't kill. Carcinogens in air, food, and water do. And she wrote an article imagining political responses to cancer. So yes, I'm not denying that we all can have some input over our lifestyles, but to say that it's my responsibility, it's what I did or how I live that I got cancer, or that anyone else, well, first of all, you probably won't get it because you live different than I did. But that's what keeps it separate, instead of looking at the bigger picture. Who sits on the boards of the American Cancer Society and the National Cancer Institute? DuPont chemical company executives, the people that are most invested, the scientists who are doing the research. So there's a huge parity. There's a big difference between the actual medical research findings and what's actually being practiced in the medical community. There is a cure for cancer. Found it a long time ago. We have a cancer economy. We cannot take the bottom out of the cancer economy. We have a diabetes economy. We have a heart economy. By giving out the information about the cures, you know, a lot of things it would wreck things. So the very scientists standing to get the money for the research, the chemical company executives, the research is geared towards